Are the Toronto Maple Leafs eyeing some key reinforcements as the trade deadline approaches? With a stellar start to the 2024-25 season and a strong position atop the Atlantic Division, fans are buzzing with excitement. But what if I told you that a veteran forward and a seasoned defenseman from a struggling rival could be on the radar? Stick around as we dive into the potential targets that could elevate our roster. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up to stay in the loop with all the latest Maple Leafs news. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been off to a fantastic start this season, boasting a record of 13-6-2 and sitting comfortably at the top of the Atlantic Division. However, not all teams are enjoying the same fortune. The Ottawa Senators, on the other hand, find themselves struggling in 7th place with a disappointing 9-11-1 record. With the Senators looking to potentially sell at the trade deadline, it opens the door for the Maple Leafs to make some strategic moves. One name that has come up in trade discussions is Claude Giroux. The 36-year-old veteran forward from Hearst, Ontario, has had a solid season, racking up 6 goals and 10 assists for a total of 16 points in 21 games. Giroux is not just a seasoned player, he's a two-way force who can step up in any game situation. His experience could be invaluable for the Leafs as they look to bolster their lineup for a playoff push. However, he comes with a hefty cap hit of $6.5 million, making it a bit tricky for the Leafs, who are already close to the salary cap. But here's where things could get interesting. If the Senators are looking to maximize their return on a trade, they might be willing to retain some salary. This could open up the possibility for Giroux to join the Leafs, providing them with much-needed depth in their bottom 6. His playoff experience is something that can't be overlooked, especially for a team that has high aspirations this year. So, is Giroux the right fit for the Leafs? Personally, I'm torn. His skill set is undeniable, but will the financial aspect make it too complicated? I want to hear what you think. Is he worth the risk? On the defensive front, Travis Hamonic is another player that the Leafs could consider. At 34 years old, Hamonic has established himself as a reliable shutdown defenseman, and he could serve as a depth piece for Toronto as they gear up for the postseason. With 236 points over his 861 games in the NHL, he brings a solid presence to the blue line. His contract is also more manageable, which makes him an appealing option for the Leafs looking to add without breaking the bank. Imagine Hamonic teaming up with the current defensive core. He could provide that physical edge and stability that the Leafs could benefit from, especially in high-pressure playoff situations. But what do you think? Do you believe Hamonic would make a significant impact on the team? I'm curious about your thoughts on this potential move. As we move further into the season, it's crucial for the Leafs to keep an eye on the Senators and their potential sell-off. Both Giroux and Hamonic could be valuable assets if the Senators decide it's time to make some changes. The future of the Leafs hinges on these decisions, and every move counts as they aim for playoff success. So, what are your expectations for the Maple Leafs as we approach the trade deadline? Do you think they should go all in for a veteran like Giroux, or would you prefer a more budget-friendly option like Hamonic? I genuinely want to hear your opinions and frustrations in the comments below. The Toronto Maple Leafs are facing a critical juncture with Mitch Marner's contract situation, and the pressure is mounting. As we know, Marner has been nothing short of spectacular this season, raising his value with every game. But with his contract nearing its end, fans and analysts alike are left wondering, can the Leafs afford to keep him? Or will we see one of our homegrown talents slip through our fingers? Let's dive into the heart of the matter. Sam McKee, a voice we trust, made it abundantly clear that losing Marner would be a devastating blow. He's not just a player, he's a local superstar with the kind of playmaking ability that can turn a game on its head. His synergy with Austin Matthews is something we simply can't replicate. As McKee pointed out, Marner has been a consistent driving force for the team, And every day that passes without a deal only heightens the anxiety around his future. Now, let's talk about the management side. Justin Bourne didn't pull any punches when he criticized how the Maple Leafs have handled this situation. The delay in securing a long-term extension has only increased Marner's leverage. With the salary cap expected to rise significantly in the coming years, Marner's value could skyrocket. This puts the Leafs in a precarious position. Bourne stated it plainly: the team will be worse off if Marner doesn't sign long-term. That's a hard truth to swallow for all of us. Could the Leafs have avoided this predicament with a more proactive approach? Absolutely. They've left themselves vulnerable, and now they might have to pay a premium to keep Marner in blue and white. It's a tough pill to swallow, but Kyprios articulated it perfectly when he mentioned that if Marner signs for just a penny more than Matthews' AV of $13.25 million, we might just have to hold our noses and accept it. It's a harsh reality, but the alternative, watching him walk away, is even worse. Now, let's address one of the biggest criticisms leveled at Marner: his playoff performance. There are those who claim he hasn't stepped up when it matters most. But I resonate with Kyprios' perspective on this. We can't judge a player of Marner's caliber solely on playoff performance. He's been instrumental during the regular season, and his overall contributions to the team's success are undeniable. We need to look beyond the short-term results and recognize the long-term value he brings to this franchise. So, what's next for the Maple Leafs? They're at a crossroads. If they meet Marner's demands, they risk stirring up backlash from fans regarding salary cap constraints. But if they let him go, they could lose one of the most electrifying wingers in the league and significantly weaken their lineup. It's a tightrope walk, and it didn't have to come to this. The reluctance to act sooner has put the team in a vulnerable spot. I can't help but feel a sense of urgency here. The clock is ticking, and the pressure is only increasing. We've seen the drama unfold in previous contract negotiations with Marner, and it has polarized fans. Now, the Maple Leafs must decide if they can stomach another high-profile, high-cost extension, or if they're ready to face the daunting task of moving forward without one of their most talented players. I want to hear from you, fellow Leafs Nation. Do you believe this is the right path for the organization? Are you in favor of breaking the bank to keep Marner, or do you think it's time to let him go? Share your thoughts and frustrations in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with all the essential news surrounding our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's keep the conversation going.